Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, February 16th. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. SVG will host the 7th meeting of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS Council of Ministers of Education, on Thursday, February 17th and Friday, 18th, 2022, under the theme Education in Extraordinary Times for Vulnerability to Resilience. The annual meeting of the ComEdu is a two-day event which enjoys the participation of key development partners and provides a platform for ministers across the OECS region to collectively reflect on issues in education, share on local strategies and innovations to address some of these challenges, as well as collaborate on troubleshooting issues to develop joint approaches, policies, and practices in an effort to improve the access to quality education in the region. The meeting is usually held face-to-face. However, due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, this year's 7th ComEdu will be convened virtually, with St. Vincent and the Grenadines delegates meeting face-to-face in accordance with the health protocols. Minister of Education and National Reconciliation Curtis King, in a statement, expressed SVG's commitment to advancing education as part of its focus on achieving the OECS Vision 2020 to 2024. He said the stage is set and SVG stands ready to host this very important exercise.
This meeting is held basically annually and allow the ministers of education to reflect, to evaluate, to interact with issues affecting our education system across the OECS countries. And the idea is always to provide that opportunity for us to arrive at strategies that could enhance our education system.
On the agenda for the meeting is reflections, policy direction within the education sector in the COVID-19 period, special COVID-19 report on education, and the OECS Declaration for Education, which is a major highlight of the meeting and will guide the development of all future policies, strategies, plans, and programs in education. Executive Director of Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAFA, Dr. Joyce St. John, will serve as a featured speaker. A presentation fittingly titled The Implications of Education and the Effectiveness of Collective Action in Overcoming a Pandemic will not only address the science behind the pandemic, but will also analyze the implications for education and provide recommendations for how we can live with COVID-19 and safely return to face-to-face instruction. As was done last year, the 7th OECS Council of Ministries of Education meeting will again include youth voices. Serena Doe, a student of the St. Mary's Primary School in Dominica, will serve as the youth featured speaker, delivering an address entitled A Child's Perspective on Education in Extraordinary Times and Recommendations to Ministers. The OECS Commission facilitated a youth debate on Thursday, February 10, 2022, to give the youth an active voice in addressing the issues in education. The recommendations form the debate will be presented to ministries during the meeting. A virtual press briefing will be held at the end of the meeting to inform the public of the outcomes and the way forward. 114 CPEA students from the Red Zone stand to benefit from financial assistance from Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Speaking on NBC Radio's face-to-face program this morning, Acting Prime Minister Montgomery Daniel said several checks have been placed at GECU for students.
Sir, who would have previously indicated that of his personal desires to assist students in the red zone, and as of today there will be a check placed at GECU to benefit some 114 students who are in the CPEA classes at this time, and who the Prime Minister would have asked to begin in some form, some level of savings at their very early ages.
Right.
And so today I would place a check at GECU to facilitate that process where the savings of some 114 students will benefit from the Prime Minister's personal assistance.
Minister Daniel said the financial support is a blessing for the students in these challenging times.
Many of these the students will be very happy for this gesture. The students of Fancy, Oye, Sandy Bay, Torma Government School, Langley Park, and Dixon. Those are 6 schools within the red zone of the constituency of North Windward. And also, you would have some students benefiting too from the constituency of North Central Windward, including Georgetown Government, Byra Government, Connery, Park Hill and South Rivers. So in the constituency of North Windward, of course, alone, we are having 114 students benefiting from the Prime Minister's personal assistance. So that's where we are in terms of that benefiting the students in that area.
Acting Prime Minister and MP for North Windward said he is dissatisfied and disappointed with the pace of work at the Orange Hill housing project. The houses are being built to accommodate families from the communities north of Rabuka Dry River whose houses were destroyed by the eruptions of La Soufrière volcano or located in an area deemed unsafe for resettlement. Speaking on radio this morning, Daniel, who holds the portfolio as Minister of Transportation, Works, Lands and Physical Planning, said he was hoping that houses would have been finished since last October.
Of course, let's take for instance, the 27 homes that are presently being built. My urgency was to have those houses by independence last year to be handed over to at least 27 families.
Right.
But of course, there were some hiccups. And because of that, it would have delayed the process.
Minister Daniel is hoping that by the end of March, the houses will be finished and ready to be handed over to the owners.
And so, the houses are just about to be completed. In discussions with officials from the Ministry of Housing, the date to which we are looking at to have the houses officially handed over is around the end of March.
End of March.
So that there are some minor works still going on these houses. And so, as I indicated, I'm working with the Ministry of Housing on these matters, and I'm hoping that the end of March is when 27 families will have new homes.
Daniel said the families who will be receiving the houses were identified through consultation with the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO.
In discussion with Michelle Forbes at NEMO, we have decided to take the families southwards closer to the Orange Hill village, and then you move further northwards, so that you have from Overland, which is the first river that has been affected there. You have 5 families there, of which we have to remove. Then you go into Noel. There are another 6 or so families there. Equally, there is also one other family in Overland to be relocated there. And then you move into London as we go northwards. And London itself, I think, has some 14 houses to be relocated. So that from Overland to London, at least you would have 27 homes, basically, who would take up the houses at Orange Hill. When you get into Sandy Bay, then the plot in Sandy Bay will take care of the families in Sandy Bay.
Not being challenged for the leadership position of the SVG Public Service Union, Elroy Bocho said that he takes it as an indication by the membership that he is doing a very good job. Bocho told SVG-TV News in a telephone interview that he is a servant of the people and the members of the PSU.
To the best of my ability, and putting the workers and the members' interests, the workers' interests first, and their issues are always on the front burner and being addressed. So it's a matter of good representation. That's what the Public Service Union stands for. And therefore the leadership must embody that particular principle. And I think that is what the membership is actually saying.
Bocho said with the challenges facing the public servants and the people of SVG, it requires a strong leadership in all the unions.
And we will have to address that issue as it comes. It's a very important issue because it is going to affect the retirement of all public servants and what is their economic status or their standing, their financial standing upon retirement. Those matters are very, very serious and have to be addressed by government and by the union. And you don't want weak leadership at a time like this because you have to put the workers' interests there and you have to fight to ensure that workers are not worse off when these issues are being addressed. Those are some of the issues that we know that are in the pipeline. For the people, the workers at the community college, for example, we continue to fight to ensure that they get their pension status as per the law that governs the community college.
The PSU president used the opportunity to speak about the members of the PSU who were impacted by the government's vaccination policy, noting that the leadership of the union continues to work on their behalf to ensure the best outcome.
Forward for the next 2 or so years. But nevertheless, some of the things that are in the pipeline, we still have the building to be done. We have had some setbacks with respect to getting that started. It is still a priority, and we are hoping that our auditors and all of the persons who have to do what they have to do to get us in the necessary document to get this project started will do so. So that is a top priority. We still have to struggle with getting the government to listen to the trade union and for them to recognize us as partners in a tripartite arrangement. That has been a struggle and that continues to be a struggle, but it is one that we have to keep going at. We must continue to strive to accomplish that, and that's a major challenge.
The PSU election will take place on Wednesday, April 6th and Thursday, April 7th, 2022. Voting will take place at members' workplace and at the union's headquarters. Along with Bocho, there are others who will be contesting the upcoming PSU elections unopposed. They are Second Vice President Lenique Providence, Assistant Secretary Desrita Gaux Bocho, Treasurer Gary Lewis, and Grievance Officer Kathleen Nation Davis. The positions that are being challenged are General Secretary, Women's Chair, and First Vice President. The Argyle International Airport celebrated its 50th anniversary on Valentine's Day, Monday, February 14, 2022. The airport, which is the island's first international airport, opened on February 14, 2017 under the theme Love is in the Air. In a telephone interview with SVG-TV News, Acting Chief Executive Officer Lida Oliver commented on how far the airport has come and how they were able to manage in trying times, especially during and after the eruption of La Soufrière volcano in April 2021.
Yeah, you started 5 years ago with a lot of excitement and high expectation, for some international airport for the country, largest capital project, in the history of the country. And then we had in the early part of 2020, we had the COVID-19 pandemic, which kind of precipitated a downturn, activities and, number of passengers and so because of the restrictions to travel. Inside there too, we had the volcanic eruption, which was another major challenge we had to maneuver. From an airport standpoint, we did excellently, I would say. Having to rely on ourselves to remove the ash and to restart operation, Of course, with the assistance of some local contractors and ministries, but that whole operation was spearheaded by our building and civil team and our mechanical team, backed by our different departments within the airport. We did so well that the ICAO and FAA wanted us to share our experience with them, and they now have our methodology as a learning tool.
The airport has helped to solve the long-standing issue of passengers flying from the UK, US, and Canada having to make several connections before arriving to their final destination, SVG, by offering direct flights from these locations. Vincentian nationals and visitors alike are now able to fly non-stop from the UK via Virgin Atlantic, the US via American Airlines, and Canada via Air Canada. When asked if there has been a significant reduction in the number of travelers flying into SVG as a result of the island being recently placed on travel advisory list due to the rise in COVID-19 cases, Oliver noted that the advisory had no effect on the number of travelers coming to these shores, as airlines are still flying in near full capacity.
I haven't seen any major reduction. The numbers remain basically the same week after week. So I can't say I've seen any drastic change in them. The changes, I don't think I could attribute them to the caution list.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines continues to be on showcase at Expo Dubai 2020. On Tuesday, a 1-hour-long musical showcase dubbed the Evolution event, where Vincy Mas was promoted. The several performances were delivered by some of SVG's top artists and musicians, including Darren Andrews, Fireman Hooper, Ronnie Luther McIntosh, Chanel McKenzie, Hans John, and Skinny Fabulous. Here are snippets of their performances at Expo Dubai 2020.
To every party, we started it from the door. Oh, if they want to know. Now I want to see you do the Caribbean thing. We jump in, one shot. How we doing it? And still one. Oh, I hear it. Are you ready? Put your hands in the air. 1, 2. I'm talking about Zion. Look me. I want everybody wave. Just wave. Mama, live it out. We have been a time. Raise your hands and wine. She keeps searching. She controlling. What she arguing? Big bacchanal when carnival come. Pamela, man, nowhere to be found. She claimed they were jumping up in the band.
Noise for St. Vincent.
Everybody
Keep them up in the air, keep them up. Start to jump. Whoa! Cause when we don't roll alone. So anywhere that we go, you think I'm moving away with me. Love you. We mash up, turn up, we like an army.
Another Vincentian has achieved the milestone of being a Centenarian. The Pauls Avenue woman had a 2-day celebration for her 100th birthday. She spoke of her love for God, which she said has kept her alive for the past 100 years. Larissa Pugsley Kidd has her story in this report.
Drusilla Primus is 100 not out. She celebrated her birthday on Tuesday, February 15, 2022, with her loved ones at her home in Pauls Avenue, Kingstown. Primus, a mother of 2, has seen a lot and has been through a lot, but according to her, she has always put God first, and for this reason, she never got married.
No, I never wanted to marry because I wanted to come home if I'm going to my church. Yes, because sometimes you want to go tell about, you have to stay home for years. Just as you go, when you want child born, my name when you born, and then you born, he's the one, same one who's looking after me now. They say, I want nobody home, but I'm going to my church, that's my church, so bring them up. And the 7 grandchildren, I christened them in the Salvation Army. The six gone on, and I am the only one left back. So we born in Richland Park in the country. My mother and father have plenty of property and so on, but I didn't study in them at all. I always studied my soul salvation. Because they go left it and I now have to go and leave it too. But all this time I think to give my life to God, and I gave my life to God.
Primus, who is a member of the Salvation Army, said that she assisted with the church for more than 60 years.
And I make up my mind to go to the Salvation Army, so whether rain or sun, I make up my mind to go. Anyway, all about wherever the Salvation Army, to go to the poor home, to go to the mental home and go all about and visit and hospital and all about. I'm ready to go.
Also is a member of a women's group we call Home League. This afternoon they will come to celebrate with her as well. And also she's a member of the League of Mercy. It's another group we have in the Salvation Army.
Primus, whose eyesight is slowly deteriorating, remains optimistic about her spiritual life.
Well, one of the eye, the doctor had to stink one, because it's getting bad to be, and the other one now getting dark now. Yes, so, but I am in God's hand. The eyes is temporarily blind, but the spiritual eye not going to close.
Her advice to fellow Vincentians is to be of service to the Lord.
Advice and to live for God. Give the precious life to God. God, all of things will fail and leave, but God never fails us. And give our precious life. God, I want to follow God. He is with you. He is with you. And anywhere you go and anything you do, put your trust in Him. And He will provide you and protect you from all harm and dangers. Well, it's a little harder now, but you know how every day things are getting a little harder. In St. Vincent, things are getting a little harder now and things and so forth. Still satisfied with the little you get. Thank God for it and live your life and thank Him for everything. We thank Him for His grace and His strength and His power. Yes.
For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley Kidd.
The New Life Ministries Church, located in North Union, has embarked on a community outreach program designed to provide financial support to selected students from surrounding primary and secondary schools. The initiative was first conceptualized and supported by Ranella Billy, a member of the church who resides in Canada and was herself a recipient of various scholarships. The program, dubbed New Life Ministries Scholarship Fund, was launched at the church on Sunday, February 13, 2022. A total of 16 students, 10 from the primary level and 6 from the secondary level, form the first cohort of the program. The primary students would receive $800 per year and the secondary students $1,000 per year in cash and vouchers for school supplies. The students who will benefit from the scholarship program are from North Union Secondary, George Stevens Senior Secondary, Georgetown Secondary, and Emmanuel High School, Pamela's Burke Government, Connery Primary, Diamond Government, and Newgrounds Primary. Funding for the scholarship program is expected to be provided by members of and friends of New Life Ministries. The church said it hopes to assist additional students as funding becomes available.